Whoa, whoa, whoa. Before we get into any movement, I'm going to tell you guys just to do two things. And no, it's not subscribe, not like. All you're going to do is bind. All you're going to do is bind. Move forward to scroll wheel up. And jump to scroll wheel down. The first thing I'm going to do is teach you guys how to tap strafe. Now this is useful for keeping your momentum. Like that. I can keep sliding. And you can turn really quickly. So it's very useful. And how we're going to do this is you're going to use your scroll up, slide jump, and then you have to take your finger off forward, take your hand off W, and move it to A to go left, and D to go right. And you're going to scroll up that entire time you're moving. And you can move your camera pretty much however fast you want to make it sharper. Like that. And that is basically it for tap strafing. I forgot to say you can also tap strafe without sliding. You can just do it like that. You can also combine a tap strafe into a zipline, but I'll show you that later. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to wall jump. Now, wall jumping is quite useful, but it can be quite inconsistent if you don't practice it. So basically, the first thing you want to do is practice just climbing like that. You're going to run onto the wall and just kind of get into that where you're stuck on the wall. You're not going up, you're not going down too fast. Second thing is you want to jump at the wall. You want to go at an angle. You can go at quite a sharp angle, but it's much easier at this kind of angle. And you want to look at the wall so you're facing it head on, okay? So you're going to jump, hold W, and then let it go. You want to let go of W as soon as you start, like, climbing on it. So I'm let go of W. Holding, let go. And then you're going to use your... You don't need to use scroll wheel, but it is much easier. You're going to use your scroll wheel that you bound to jump earlier. You're going to basically just combine it all into one and then jump as soon as you hit the wall. So you're going to jump like that. But the reason I didn't get very much height there is because I didn't slide or I didn't jump. And this is very important because you can only get height on it if you activate jump fatigue. So see how the first time I jump and the second time I jump it's not very high. That is jump fatigue. So if I just run, you're not going to go up. But if you activate jump fatigue first by jumping, basically, you can get like that a much more height, and you can also get up a platform like that very quickly instead of climbing like this, which isn't actually that slow, but you're prone to getting shot. Okay. Or to get height when you wall jump, you could slide into a wall like that, and you can also keep your momentum, so you can slide again. You see, I can tap strafe off of that. Okay, that's wall jumping and tap strafing. Yeah, it's pretty simple. They can be useful in a few fights. Wall jumping is useful for mainly getting around, maybe getting like behind your opponent. I think there are ways you can do this without activating jump fatigue, but it's much more consistent if you just activate jump fatigue. Okay, this is zipline, obviously. And I'm going to teach you a few things to do on a zipline to get ahead of your opponents. So, one thing you can do to get up a zipline very fast is you can use the jump scroll wheel that I told you to bind earlier, and as soon as you get on the zipline, you're going to jump off and you get a bunch of height, right? But that's not it, because you get a ton of height, basically almost to the top. If you jump onto it, you won't really get as much height, as you can see, because you won't. But if you don't jump, you get a much more height, as you can see, like consistently every time. As long as you don't climb on the wall like that, you're fine. But yeah, once you've got the hang of that, you can do this, tap backwards, in other words S, to stop yourself from going forwards, like that, and you'll see how instead of going forward like that, I've stopped my momentum. Once you've gotten used to clicking S right after jumping off the zip line using scroll wheel, you can combine that with looking up, and you can get on the zip line again if you look up. So you can do that, and then you can also scroll wheel off again. Now this, you can get up zip lines very quickly, and it's extremely useful. I basically use it every time I go on a zip line. You can do it up on these jump towers to get higher faster. But you can't do this and then do it again. So you can only do it once. And you can also combine this with a mantle jump, which can be quite difficult. So the first mantle jump I'm going to show you is definitely a lot easier. I'm going to show you first by not going up the zipline fast. Basically, you want to just ride the zipline, you want to mantle like that, so just on the edge, and then you're going to look up, okay? And then you're going to just click E and scroll wheel jump off, and you should get up. Now I'm going to show you it all together. There you go. As you can see, I got pretty much to this box. You can get quite a lot of height. But the only problem with doing this and looking up is in a lot of the buildings, mostly known as streamer building, which is on a different map that's not here right now. But there's a building that's a lot like it. Your zipline is usually encased in a box. And when you try doing it, like that, you will bump your heads on the roof and you just won't get anywhere. Another note I'm going to add is you can't really do this with a tall legend. For example, Pathfinder, because he is very tall and he will hit his head on the top. On most, obviously not on this one, because as you can see this one's very high up. But on a lot of them where this is a lot lower, he will hit his head and you'll just also bounce back down. Now, just to inform you, I'm pretty sure all the short legends are Wraith, Lifeline, Watson, and I think there's some others, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's Lifeline, Wraith, and Watson are the main three that I'm aware of. But there is probably some others. Right choice. Now I'm going to teach you how to mantle jump looking down, which is quite a bit more difficult. Now, when I was learning this, I found it very difficult, and it took me a very long time, and I couldn't get it consistent until I tried putting on this setting, mouse acceleration, right? Now, most videos, in fact, all videos on the internet will tell you to turn this off for FPS competitive gaming. But this allows you to look up and down really fast, even with a slow sense like 2.18, which is very slow to be able to do this, okay? Now, what it does is the faster you move your mouse in person on your mouse mat, the more it will turn. So if I'm moving it very slow, that's quite fast, but it's, you know what I mean. And if I move it fast, I'm moving it the same distance, but I'm moving like 3 times around, okay? Now what this is useful for is for looking down, you need to go up the zip line, climb like the other one, but instead of looking up, obviously, you need to look down, right? But as you can see, I can't reach the zip line here. So you're going to actually need to press backwards once, only once. And then you can click E and jump off. I obviously messed it up then, but you can do like that, which I did quite quickly. That's why I like the mouse acceleration, because I found with the low sense, I couldn't really hit it consistently, because I'd be dragging my mouse down really a lot, and it just wasn't really practical. But with this, you can kind of just, I don't even need to move my hand or my arm. I can just move my fingers on my mouse, okay? It's very good for moving it down quickly, because you do need to move it down quickly if you're going to keep doing it consistently. But as you might have noticed by now, you don't get anywhere near as much height with the looking down one as you do looking up. So if you're in an open area with this, and you're trying to get onto something or over an enemy, I would highly recommend using the looking up one. As you can see, I go to this box, whereas with the looking down one, I get just to the edge and I have to mantle, okay? You can get it a bit higher. Occasionally I can get it to like here. It really just depends. But most of the time you can't get it very high. A quick note I want to add to the looking up zipline jump. I think I forgot to mention, you want to hold W whilst you're doing it. I think most tutorials tell you to not hold W, but you specifically can for the looking up one. So here, I'm holding W, and when I do it fast, I'll be holding W the whole time, but you have to click E as soon as you stand up from the zipline, and then you can do it like that. Okay, so I'm holding W, holding W, holding W, and holding W still. I didn't let go of W once, but you can do it like that. Well, I clicked S. I didn't actually get as much height clicking S. But you don't really need to, because I feel when you're looking up, unless it's a shorter zip line, when you're looking up, you can reach that, because you can look more up than you can look down, okay? Because there's a floor there, so you can't actually see the. As you see, you don't get the indicator to get on the zip line, but there you do, so you can reach it quite happily without clicking. You don't have to hold W. I've let go, and then you can do it. But I just find it more convenient to do it like holding W. You do get more height as well and more distance. A quick note: you can combo a zipline jump into a tap strafe. As you see, I've gone completely the other way, and I'm here. Okay. And you can do that with the looking down one as well, if I don't mess it up. There you go. I find it hard. I don't know if it's just me, but I tend to not be able to go as far with the looking down one. As you'll probably see most streamers do, they can go up a zip line, look down, and they tap strafe onto like a elevated platform higher than the zip line. Like that. I've gotten quite a bit of height and I've gone to the side, so you can always land on something else. Another way you can change your direction is you can quite simply just look to the side when mantle jumping. Because as long as you can reach the zip line, unlike there, as you could see there, I didn't tap strafe at all, yet I went to the side. You can do it like this. I've gone to the other side. The direction you move is based on where you look as you jump off the zip line. So if I'm looking this way, and then I look that way, I'm going to go that way, even though I didn't hit the mantle jump correctly. But this, being able to go around something like that was quite a good example. Is I've mantled up on this side, I've then proceeded to look this way and mantle jump. So it doesn't really matter where you mantle, as long as you can reach the zip line. Thank you for watching my movement guide. I hope this helps you finally master the movement techniques I showed you, and enjoy the rest of your day.